Hello everyone, I am Tacet, and today I'm going to be going over the What is Lava event, in which the lava elemental and the fire lizard are introduced to the game. So before I get into that, some of you have been wanting me to like sing and stuff like on stream, and while I won't, let me do it this line then. Baby, don't burn me, don't burn me no more. I can't sing. That's why I don't sing. I'm doing you guys a favor by not singing, but that's me singing. Anyways, what a way to start. Anyways, Lava Elemental. A very, very strong tank. It has a 3x ratio too, which makes it extremely good in early game. It explodes a gem, which is going to give you quite a bit of mana. You only get 70% of the mana for all of the explode mana there, but you're mainly going to be using it for board manipulation, hopefully for extra matches, maybe even extra turns. And any skulls that you explode will also do 1 damage each. That's not reduced by 70%. It still maintains the 1 damage per skull, like it says right there. And it deals damage to the first enemy boosted by red gem destroyed by the explosion at a 3x ratio, so it can start doing a lot of damage just with that 3x ratio alone. And on top of all of this, for only 10 mana, it even burns them. So quite a bit from there. And as far as traits are concerned, it's basically like a mini Gorgotha. If you don't have Gorgotha, well, here you go. You use Lava Elemental. It has immunity to burning and has Stone Skin. Stone Skin is basically like 75%, except it's 50%. It's still very, very strong. And something else that makes it very interesting is it has Pyromania, which is twice as much damage if a enemy is burned. And since it does have burn to the first enemy with its ability, since it hits the first enemy and then burns them, for only 10 mana, you'll easily be able to get 2x skull damage as well. So a very, very powerful all-round troop that is a really good alternative to Gorgotha, especially early on because of traits and the cost to actually get him up and everything. Next up, we have Fire Lizard. Something nice about him, for one, we can get minor reds this week. For any of you that do not know, minor reds are actually the rarest trait stone, or pretty much the rarest trait stone in the game right now. Definitely the rarest minor trait stone, because they're depleted so quickly since more troops in the game use reds than any other color. But as far as the Fire Lizard is concerned, it is actually one of only about 3 other troops or 4 other troops in the game that can create its own colors. It's red, yellow, and on its ability, it deals damage to a random enemy and then burns them, which is really good for only 11 as well, and then creates 7 red gems. So kind of like the Rockworm, which does 7 brown of its own color. Well, this also does 7 red of its own color, so we'll be able to loop just like a Rockworm does or something like that. So very early, good early on. As far as traits, it does get a really good trait for the last one. Pyromania, 2x skull damage. I won't be using it. The main reason is I actually have 0 minor trait stones right now. Red minor trait stones. I might end up buying some of this pack to get more. But what I actually end up doing is I have all kingdoms now at 5 stars. I just upgraded Adana. And if I go into my hero real quick, go straight to collection, we are depleted all the way down to 0. Literally 0. Minor reds. We have like thousands of some of the other colors, but 0 minor reds. That's how many things use minor reds in this game. But at least I don't really need to worry about it too much now that I have all the kingdoms maxed out. Now I just upgrade whatever I need to upgrade. But before we actually get into showing teams and all of that such, time for a redeem code IHARZTWCSC. And that will give the normal reward of 2 treasure maps, 1 gem key, 200 souls, and 2,500 gold for the first 200 people on PC and mobile who claim that reward. So let's go right into the teams. There are some things I do want to go over first before we get into them. For one, I am going to be doing a little bit of a kingdom showcase in this video. I'm going to be doing them a little bit differently for now on because I notice these videos normally get like way too long. And most people don't really need a team for all the troops. And now that kingdoms are starting to get like 10, 11, 12 troops, it's a little bit of wasted time to like go through all of it for me and for all of you guys having to watch it. So I'm just going to try compiling it as quick as possible. We're just going to do an overview on all of the Broken Spire troops, just kind of explaining what they're for. And as well as 2 other things. For one, there's a troop kind of like Lava Elemental in the game right now, Gorgon. It destroys a row, deals 26 damage to a random enemy, and then it's boosted by the red gems at a 2x ratio. It has the same mana cost, and it has slightly different traits, but still has a stone skin. Comparing this to Lava Elemental, I would say do not waste your time on Gorgon in its current state. You're much better off just going with the Lava Elemental. It'll do pretty much the same damage once you get it all the way up. I can't quite tell since we still have it at the base rarity of Ultra Rare. But that Pyromania trait really makes it a lot better since it can, for one, it has Burn, which is going to make it a lot stronger. It has a 3x ratio instead of 2. And on top of all that, it can do 2x skull damage to whatever gets burned. So overall, Lava Elemental much better than Gorgon. Next up, I somewhat mentioned it earlier, but there are a lot of looping troops now. Of course, Fire Lizard is the most recent one. These are all troops that can loop on themselves. This isn't an actual team, by the way, just troops that can loop off themselves. There's Fire Lizard. There is Rockworm, of course, probably the most popular one for doing it, especially earlier on in the game. Just keep looping. He also has a 7 gem spawn. Actually, the Devoted has a 7 gem spawn too. She can do any color, but since she can do any color, she can just do her yellow or blue and loop on herself as well. And a very popular one back before it was nerfed. Like not this nerf, or this was actually a buff for the most recently, but I'm talking about like the nerf over a year ago. But Web Spinner can also loop with itself. It creates 9 green gems, which out of all these looping troops is the most. Of course, it is a legendary, so it would be better than everything else in that regard. But yeah, just does full AoE and a lot of stuff like that. So all of these are troops that can actually loop with themselves. With many of these, you could actually just go 3 of them with another troop. The only one you couldn't actually do that with is the Devoted, because the Devoted does no damage. It's just a buffer. But with these other 3, you can basically just have 3 of them plus a troop that assists it well, and that's a team right there if you really wanted to. And let's go over all of the Broken Spire troops now, starting in alphabetical order. Etten. I won't be doing a team for all of these anymore, just because oh no, didn't seem that useful and it used a lot of time. But Etten, I don't even know if I'm saying that right. Etten, double-headed ogre. For the most part, the main reason you'd be using it for is the Empower, to be able to gain a lot of attack. It destroys a column and then gains a bunch of attack and gets boosted at a 1-to-1 ratio on the purples. So you can essentially more than double its attack on its very first cast if you get it up to Empowered. As far as concerned with brown-blue troops, you can pretty much ignore it. Unless you're going to go like an all-giant team, you don't need Etten. Fire Lizard, definitely a very, very, very strong troop, especially early on in the game. It's good with things like Gerald Fire Mantle. It's good with things like Hellcat, which both create a lot of reds on the board. With Gerald Fire Mantle in particular, Gerald creates both red and yellow. This beast is also the Elemental Beast. There's actually quite a few Elemental Beasts. I think like 3 or 4 in the game, and Fire Lizard actually synergizes pretty well with them. So you can do that with that too. Pretty much anything that's going to be spawning reds, you can use a Fire Lizard with. And as I mentioned before, just put 2 Fire Lizards in your team if you're going to use them, and you can just keep looping between the 2 Fire Lizards over and over again, similar to how Rockworm does. Next up is Fortress Gate. Arguably one of the worst troops in the game, but it does have one good benefit to it. Of course, all it does on its ability is gain a bunch of armor. What makes it really interesting, which makes it pretty much the worst troop, but also somewhat a utility, is it has the lowest attack of any troop in the game by a huge margin. It actually gains 0 attack throughout its leveling. All 6 of this attack is just from kingdom bonuses. It never gains any attack from leveling at all. Because of this, it does have a lot higher of an HP and armor, and it actually has once you get it all the way upgraded and leveled up, it has about a 20 higher durability as in armor and HP overall, than the next highest troop in the game. So even though it has a ridiculously low attack, it's the most durable troop in the entire game as far as ability damage is concerned. As far as skull damage, it has nothing to resist against skulls. So against skulls, it's not really going to be that good, but against abilities and stuff like that, it can be decent. Fortress Gate, you pretty much never ever have to use unless you want a really cheap Impervious early on in the game, because early on you could use this as a tank if you really wanted to. it wouldn't last that long. With things like all the new stats effects that are coming, you could. It's very cheap. It's a common, so it won't cost that much at all to be able to get this impervious trait. It has reinforced too, which is extra armor every turn, and if you put it on a defend team, you're going to get a huge armor buff from that as well. But for the most part, Fortress Gate, kind of meh, mostly because of its ridiculously low attack. It's mostly unused. Next up, Gob Chomper, one of the best things if you want to counter goblins, especially if you have the trait stones to upgrade it. If you don't, you should be able to easily get the first trait. If you do, you can get all the way up to Empowered, which you can use for a 40% chance to devour a goblin. So very, very effective against goblins. You put 3 of these on your team with something like an Acolyte or Deep Borer, and you're pretty much good to go for being able to completely devour a enemy goblin team. This also somewhat works decent against monsters because it deals twice as much damage to monsters, so you'll be able to hit even further. Plus, it gains a little bit of HP on whenever it casts. Not that much, but it'll help. It also has big, so it'll gain even more if you happen to trade it up. But mostly used as a extremely hard anti-goblin troop. Next up, Lava Elemental. Honestly, this troop is ridiculously good, especially more towards the beginning of the game. This is quite possibly the best early game troop with stone skin. The only troop I would say that might be arguably better, depending on the team that you make, is Knight Coronet. And the main reason for that is Knight Coronet would synergize much, much better with a Valkyrie than that of Lava Elemental. But yeah, he is very strong. He has everything you need. He has a little bit of board control. He has damage. Unfortunately, he can't target his damage. You have to hit the first troop every single time. But that's not too big a deal because that's a lot of damage. You have a 3 times ratio. Plus, you burn them. Plus, if this is your lead troop, which is pretty likely since it has stone skin, you'll even be doing twice as much skull damage. So all around, very, very good troop for pretty much anything that you need. All around, very well. Luther. Pretty popular very, very early in the game because it's the first epic you get. For the most part, you can pretty much ignore this troop. If you had the extra resources, you could invest in getting his leader trait and just going no further than that. The extra 3 stats to everything will be beneficial early on, plus you can just do that attack buff. But there isn't too many things that scale off of attack. The main one that I can really think of is Cyclops that an early game player might have. But other than that, you really don't need this kind of attack buff. It's just going to make you vulnerable to things like Lamia, which has charm, or anything that really has charm. And it's almost going to be more of a negative to do it to your entire team than a positive. So for the most part, Luther, not really that needed. He is a human knight, though, and there are quite a few human knights in the game. Quite a few of them for Kingdoms, too. So he could synergize okay early on if you wanted to put him with more human knights. But other than that, you really don't need him for anything. Next up is Ogre. Arguably one of the worst abilities in the game. Of course, this is the first kingdom that is within the game, so they do have to scale some of these troops down just so they aren't completely ridiculous for newer players coming into the game. It explodes a random gem, and that's it. It's for 6 mana. As far as its stats, the stats are a little bit higher than most commons. Actually, even things like Legendary is almost towards that kind of scaling as far as its stats. If you check it in Arena, it's actually one of the strongest base statted troops in Arena. If you ever want to see them, you might want to get them in Arena. As far as traits, you really don't need them too much. It's just Frenzy, Big, and Regeneration. Of course, he is a common, so it is cheap to get him traded if you did want to get him up. But for the most part, he's just really high stats, useless ability. Don't really need him unless you're making a Broken Spire giant team, and even then you might not even need him. Next up, we have Rhinax. A very weird troop in that it is ridiculously weak. It just deals damage to an enemy and then 1 to adjacent enemies. Honestly, just ignore this troop. There's nothing more I can really say about that. It hasn't been rebalanced for ever. Like, literally ever hasn't been balanced. So don't use it. Next up is Shegra. A fairly popular troop. It creates 6 red gems and then converts all red to skulls. A really, really effective skull spawner. You'll see it quite a bit. As far as traits are concerned, you really don't need, you can see I don't even have it. You really don't need the last two traits. They both essentially do the same thing. Burns enemies when you do skull damage, and then inflict burning when something does skull damage. But both of these can only ever affect the first troop in the lineup. So you're better off just using your brown-red lava trait stones on something like your lava elemental, or on something like Gerald Fire Mantle, because Gerald Fire Mantle can burn the entire enemy team, whereas Shegra can only ever burn the first one. But definitely get his first trait if you're going to use a Shegra. 2 life on 4 times or higher gem matches is very, very strong. And yeah, that is Shegra. Stone Giant. Also one of the kind of meh troops in this kingdom. It is okay when using it with other giants, though. It does have Giant Bond, big, stone skin, fairly tanky with stuff like that, especially since it has okay HP and armor. But just deals damage to a random enemy, removes all the reds, and then boosts that at a 3-1. A pretty average troop. There are plenty of other better stone skin troops. Unless you were making an all giant or all elemental team, you probably wouldn't need a stone giant in it. And last is Taraxis. It deals full AoE damage and then transforms all blues to brown at a 3-1 ratio. Really, really good troop if you're going to be doing a full AoE team. He doesn't really synergize that well with other daemons from what I've seen. I haven't checked recently, but for the most part, he doesn't. One other thing that makes him slightly off-putting, I hate when troops have this, but he gains magic based on a color that he does not have. So at max, you can have a +3 on his ability. You can't get it higher than that since he doesn't even use the color that he is boosted by, but he does have Fire Link, so if you get 2 surges somehow, you'll be able to get him to full mana. So that is all of the Broken Spire troops. Let's go into some teams now. Actually, I might as well just go straight into PvP with them. And right off the bat, that is very, very annoying. We do not want to fight a Gorgotha, just so I can show this troop off effectively. Unfortunately, Gorgotha will be an absolute nightmare for it. Same as that. I don't want to fight all mythics. These would be such easy matches if I was using a different team. But, okay, this is actually going to be a little bit hard as well, but we should be able to do it. It's Lava Elemental. This first deck that we're going to be starting off with is for, of course, the Lava Elemental. We're going Lava Elemental, Winter Wolf, even the new Fire Lizard in it as well as Spring Imp. If you don't have Spring Imp, you can replace this in with, what's it called? Salamander. You'll actually even get more of a bonus because you'll be getting the Beast bonus as well, which is +2 life and 1 attack. But we are going to be doing it with Spring Imp, mostly because, as we can see with this enemy team, they are using a lot of skulls, and Spring Imp does have Entangle all enemies for only 12 mana, so that's going to be helping us out a lot. One interesting thing that we're going to be doing with this Winter Wolf is it freezes and then places Hunter's Mark. So with that Hunter's Mark, we're going to be able to do 2 times skull damage, but since we have Pyromania, if we can get it burned as well, we're going to be doing 4 times skull matches, 2 times. So it's going to be doing a lot of damage, pretty much one-shotting. He is a little bit low on attack since I do have him at Ultra Rare instead of Mythic. Ultra Rare is, of course, his base rarity. So let's see how he does against one of the most meta decks right now, I would say. Luckily, we do have a Spring Imp. We'll probably want to focus that down right off the bat just to make sure it can't do anything. We do want to make sure that Mercy casts first, though. We don't want Mercy cleansing our full Entangle on the enemy team. So good. The Maul will just take skulls. We do have stone skin, so we'll be able to negate that a decent amount. I just gave him some yellows too, but I don't mind it for the greens. It was worth it to take some greens. And okay, that works out perfectly then. We'll just take these greens, hopefully a surge. Yep, we got it. Use your ability. Good. This is going absolutely perfect. Oh, he did just get a lot of mana right there, though. A dangerously large amount of mana.
Mana surge.
And there we go. He is about to cast that. One thing we are going to be able to do. Well, first let's take these blues, of course. Get those out of the way. Got a little bit of extra mana. No clue what's going to cast on, but one thing that we can do here, we're going to entangle it. Up. If it'd help if I take everything. We're going to entangle it right here. And this will make sure when it does its buff, or when it tries to devour us, it's actually going to get 0 attack for doing this. So it did it to our spring imp, which is somewhat unfortunate because that means we won't be able to entangle it anymore, which is kind of the whole premise of what we were going to run with this. But we'll take that, take it for the reds. Got some free extra turn skulls off it as well. That'll help us quite a bit. Want to try taking browns. We'll give him skulls. I want him to cast Shugger though, so I'd preferably not want to give him skulls. So we'll take these yellows. Got a surge on it. He'll use his ability now, and this will do basically no damage. He'll still get some damage on the criticals, but it's essentially nothing. And there he did literally nothing. He is still gaining armor and HP whenever he does skulls though, because of his legendary trait. So that is one thing to worry about a little bit. As far as right now, I'm just going to, we're going to Hunter's Mark him, we're going to freeze him, and hopefully he stays entangled. That would be perfect for us. The longer he stays entangled, that would be absolutely ideal. Oh, if he can stay entangled just for one more turn, that would be absolutely perfect. Let's see, I'm trying to find a nice explode on the board. Unfortunately, I do not see one that we can take. Pretty much any move that we do isn't going to give us too much out of our move. Let's see. I don't want to do anything with the skulls over there. I want to make sure I don't align any for him. We could explode right there, get green, but we don't need green, so that'd be kind of pointless. Let's see. I am probably just going to do it wherever we see the most brown and reds. The main reason for this, since we can't take anything on the board, we're going to be needing those brown and reds to be able to recast this ability, so we might as well take some of that mana just so we have it now. And he stayed entangled. He has like 3 status effects on him right now, 3 or 4. And he's just spamming all of the useless skulls. Luckily, we still have that entangle down. The second it comes off, we could actually lose this. Let's see, let's see. We are doing so much skull damage. Did you see that amount of skull damage? Wow. Wow. Absolutely destroyed. Absolutely 100% obliterated with that Hunter's Mark and 2 times on fire combo. That is absolutely ridiculous amount of damage. Amazing. Okay, I'm going to risk it right here. It'll probably miss, which will be bad because Shugger will cast if we do miss. Well, we missed, but we didn't give him a whole lot of mana, so we're fine for now. Shugger is still 1 mana off, so that we'll be able to utilize that. Let's see. Can we explode anything useful? I still do not see anything useful that we can explode, which is a little bit annoying. I'll probably just have to aim for... probably just this corner. I don't want to aim at reds, so I'm trying to keep as many reds on this board as possible. Which just seems a little bit weird with the Shugger right there, but mostly just so we can get this cast off.
Surge.
Well, now we won't cast since Shugger is literally about to cast. So that would be a bad idea to put more reds on the board. We'll want to move as many skulls and reds from this board as we possibly can this turn. If he misses this, we win. If he doesn't, we lose. That's pretty much what's happening right here. And he kind of misses. Not exactly how I wanted him to. We're still pretty much going to lose right here. 2 shots will kill him, though. So we'll probably just go for that. Take 1 skull. And he'll take 1 skull. And we'll take 1 skull. Just double checking the board, making sure if there's anything else. He better not resurrect. I will, like, break keyboards if that happens right there.
Mana surge.
So there we go. Just gave us another pair of skulls. I'm not too worried about the extra turn since it doesn't use yellow. All that mana is pretty much just going to go straight to waste. And now that it just wasted its cleanse... oh, never mind. We won't be able to get the burn. Well, we're still going to be able to get the burn, but it just killed us. So we aren't going to be able to get the 2 times skull damage if it was to have burned the Mercy. I'm actually just going to take the blues right here. We can almost just kill it with the ability alone. This plus these skulls plus the ability should be the kill.
Mana surge.
Yep, there we go. And it didn't take red, or kind of did. It did and it didn't. We could do a really risky move right here and try taking it off. Let's see. We'll take that first. Let's see. I don't know. I should have probably taken those reds. Now we kind of have to commit to it. This is probably a really bad idea, giving Sugar reds. We need to hit. Come on, extra turn, extra turn. Nope, no extra turn. So we did just. Oh wait, yes, extra turn. I lied. Actually, a really good. And then we just cast, and that went a lot better than I thought it would. Plus, we got an extra turn, even though it's already over. Well, yeah, that is that team. It would definitely work a lot better earlier on in the game. When not against like some of the best teams in the game, of course, but as far as anything below like level 200, I would definitely advise trying out that team. So next up on our list, we actually have 2 more teams. This video is going to go on forever. I really need to start doing shorter videos. I know some of you really enjoy, like I could do like a 2-hour video and you'd probably, some people out there would still watch, but I do like keeping them a little bit shorter just to make sure they don't drag on like literally forever. One suggestion I've gotten in the past is try to split this into like 2 videos or something, like the weekly event, which I've kind of been doing lately, but I've kind of not been doing. Okay, next up we have, oh, Queen Mab. I almost feel like just repicking this because it really will mess up this team. I do need to make sure they don't have Frozen. But for this specific team, I do need to make sure on that. Okay, we'll try it with this. He's even using a new Lava Elemental, so we'll get to see how it's, what it's like versing against it. So with this team, we're going to be using Gerald Fire Mantle, Serpent, Fire Lizard, Fire Lizard. Again, with this team, I would say more towards the early game than that of late game. For Gerald Fire Mantle, if you do not have it, you can replace it out with something like Hellcat. You can replace it out with something like another Fire Lizard, and it will still be good. So let's get into this. Let's see how it goes. Also, something I forgot to mention with the previous team, it was actually a almost all elemental too. We were using a lot of bonus for that, which is why our stats were a lot higher, and I said it'd probably be better early on in the game as well. Because the more stats you can get on your troops from synergy, the better off you're going to be early on, because later on in the game, extra stats don't really mean that much. You do it more based on team synergy than extra stats. But anything below, I'd say level 200, 300, you really need to try prioritizing making teams that have bonuses, or else your stats are going to be a little bit lower compared to other things that you might be facing. So it's going to waste a Mercy right here, which is really good for us.
Mana Surge.
All I got was a 1 yellow. From here, we'll be able to take a free extra turn. Almost got our Gerald up to Ural. We're going to take these blues and the yellow. If we can get a yellow surge right here, this is like the most perfect turn.
Mana Surge.
Nope, we didn't get it. We got a surge, not the right color. Luckily, we'll just be able to swipe those. And we have a couple choices here. Even though skulls are a bit pointless, I am going to take them. I don't want him taking it because our Gerald will be extremely receptible to skull damage. Right here is very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. That Inferno King cast. If it gets a nice cast off on that, we are essentially dead. I can't even block these, so we're just going to have to risk it and go for a Gerald cast. Hopefully this won't result in anything bad. Good, we got an extra turn, and we just keep filling them up and up and up. This is kind of the reason why we didn't. We were trying to avoid a Queen Mab, because one freeze on this team, you're dead. You're very much dead. And one nice thing is Serpent actually creates 9 reds, so if the board looks a little bit more like you won't be able to get an extra turn, you can use a Serpent instead, or you can just go for the Fire Lizard. Also, the really good combo, and why I also said it'll be good early on in the game, is you have both Burn and Poison. So those stats effects are very effective, especially more towards the earlier on you get them, the more powerful they are, since stats are, the earlier you are in the game, the lower stats are. So we're going to be probably doing a Poison right here. I don't trust us getting an extra turn, so I do want those 2 extra gem spawns. And they might have helped because we just got a double extra turn right there. I probably shouldn't have taken those yellows. Now that I did, we kind of have to commit to a Fire Lizard instead. But luckily, we did get the extra turn off it. And we have the option of choosing literally any cast we have now. I'm probably going to go with Gerald. Mostly to get this stone skin out of the way so we can start doing skull damage. And it looks like there is still enough on the board that we can just keep trucking with it. Yep, just keep going, just keep going. If we get low on mana, we can just use one of these. I'm going to risk a fire lizard, see if we can get it. Oh, we did miss. Ooh, when you miss that, that's absolutely devastating.
Mana surge.
Yeah, he's going to be doing a lot if he gets good alignment here. And he does. Okay, 2 HP, and he's going to almost completely destroy us with it.
Mana surge.
Let's see, hopefully he just wastes another skull. Okay, good. He didn't do too much with it. Quite a bit, but I'm fine with what just happened. We can't actually burn him because he has immunity to burning, so let's just use Gerald.
Mana surge.
Got the extra turn.
Mana surge. Mana surge.
Take these out of the way. Trying to get a red on the board.
Surge.
Oh, he ended up reviving too. That's not good. Okay, let's poison them. Or poison one of them. The other one has impervious, so we can't do that. He doesn't actually use red, so I can risk using this. It doesn't matter if we miss too much, since he's not getting any mana for it. He's getting a lot of HP for it, though, on the behemoth, but that's not a main concern right now. Main concern, getting this Inferno King dead and not reviving.
Mana surge. Mana surge. Mana surge.
Okay, good. We got a nice skull right there. If we could ever get him burned, which is impossible, we would be dead ages ago again. But let's just take him out. Hopefully an extra turn again.
Mana surge. Mana
No extra turn, but we have plenty of mana. Oh, and he just immortaled for the second time. Oh, I might see my first time a triple immortal. I still haven't seen a triple immortal yet. Nor do I really want to, but this might be it. He might actually win just because he keeps immortaling. If this misses, we lose pretty much. Ooh, the miss. The miss is... oh, I think he misses too, though.
Mana surge.
Okay, all's good. He missed.
Mana surge. Mana surge. Mana
Oh,
surge.
we somehow just burned him. That's weird. I guess after a certain amount of times of reviving, he just forgets to trait himself. Oh, that's fine. I'm completely fine with that. Well, he is very, very much dead next turn. Let's use our Hellcat. I mean, why did I say Hellcat? Our Lava Hound. Not even. It's not. It's neither of those two things. It's a Fire Lizard. Eventually, I have to name it correctly. I can only name guess it wrong so many times. Okay, let's take out the Impervious. That's the biggest threat right now, since it's immune to all of our poison, all of our burn. There's not that many reds, so let's get that down. Get the extra turn. Now we can just start looping on it, and we're pretty much closing on the end of this match. Hopefully this one will hit the... Actually, let's play it safe. Let's just go with Gerald. No extra turn, but this match is as good as over. Oh wait, never mind. We did get an extra turn somewhere. And that is the match. Let's finish it off with never mind. Never mind. I was going to say the Fire Lizard, but Yarl just went for it anyways. Okay, one last team that I do want to show is an all-giant team. Against an all... What even is that team? Gorgotha, Celestacia, Boar Rider, Night Terror. That is a very, very weird team. I would not advise using that. But we're going to be going right now into an all-giant team with Etten, Stone Giant, Gob Chomper, and Staff of Madness. I'm actually going to be switching this out. Most of you probably don't have Staff of Madness. If you do, you would use it with this team if you wanted to go all giants. Most of you, I believe, do not have it. Let's go into red, purple now. The two that you guys might have is these two. You get both of them once you reach 40 red and 40 purple mastery. I think those are the only two that are actually red, purple. There is one more, actually. Sands of Time, but that's just a heal, and we don't really need a heal. And of course, there's Staff of Madness, but this was event exclusive, and it's currently not available within the game. So you'd probably go either Burning Scythe or Death Kneel with this team. For this one, I think I'm going to be going Death Kneel just because we were kind of focused on skull damage. We'll be able to focus them down. We'll also be able to hopefully use it to kill out their Why can I not say its name? The Gorgotha. And we're going to be going to Giant Strength, of course, because we're using all Giants. This will give us a total bonus of 4 attack and 10 life. So quite a bit there. We are going to have a little bit of a problem taking out that... oh, I'm still using the wrong weapon. Actually, maybe we should use Burning Sight. If we get 11 damage to all, it's going to be a little bit more better for utility. So let's go with that. We don't really need to def kneel that much. So let's try this out. All Giant team against a very, very strange defend team. Then again, all Giant team in general is a pretty weird team. Also, we are using the Warlord class, of course. It's the class you get from Broken Spire at the end of it. Most of you are probably familiar with it, as it is the first class pretty much everyone unlocks within the game. So right off the bat, we do have our Empowered. So let's use it. Even though our skull damage won't be doing that much for us, we can still take it. We'll get 1 extra attack. Every purple does an extra attack for it. We didn't get an extra turn there, which was kind of what I was hoping for. Of course, the chance for it was low. He does have 1 goblin, so we can have a 40% chance right here to devour it. And we do not get it. He also has a monster. I believe this is a monster. So if we just want to target that instead, that'll be 2 times damage to him. It'll be a little bit more consistent than hoping for a 40% chance to devour. But I'm still going to try it one more time on it to hopefully get the devour, which is, of course, an instant kill. Plus, we get all of its stats. And we're only doing about 10 damage to our Gorgotha due to Granite Skin. It's going to be resisting us a really good deal. Going to take some reds. Let's see. Actually, we're going to take these browns. We'll get an extra turn from it off those blues. And we end up getting the reds anyways. So right here, we could remove the reds. I don't think there's going to be anything that we really benefit from it, though. Other than the really high ratio. So I'm just going to take out these skulls and take out 2 of these purples. And we'll get a whole load of attack right there. As well as 3 damage, however much it just was to Gorgotha from the destroyed skulls on the column. And right here, there are some skulls there. That's not going to do us much good. We can see right there we'll get a brown. So let's actually remove the reds, even though we kind of use them for our hero. The mana is a little bit more important for it. Or the damage, I mean. So right here, could either go yellow. We could hope for a purple surge. Let's see. We'll take it right here. We did get the purple surge, so that was really nice. He is going to be able to cast both of them since he gets the extra turn. Oh, it'll take the skull damage as well. And that, I think, is enough to kill us. It's 1 damage short. It's going to be 1 damage short of killing us if he aims the Itin. Actually, I think he has to. Yeah, the weakest enemy. So it is actually going to kill our huge damage source, unfortunately. If not to that, but it will die to Gorgotha's cast afterwards. But we'll do this. We got burn on something other than Gorgotha, which is nice because, of course, Gorgotha is immune to burn. Hit all the way down at 1 HP. We could try making it so it doesn't gain any yellows or browns, but I don't think we're going to be able to stop it. It's going to take those. Or not. Never mind, I'll take those first, and then I'll take those. Oh no, it's going purple. That's kind of better for us since that did nothing. Or nothing for him anyways. This board looks like he's going to be casting Boar Rider next turn. There is absolutely no point at all in casting our Eaton. He's kind of gone to waste because of that Granite Skin completely nullifying anything he could possibly do. So right here, we do have a chance at Devour still, but regardless, it's going to die. And we still didn't get the Devour, but at least it's dead now. We don't have to worry about it. Before it dies, we will be able to get 1 last cast off. Either 1 cast or... Let's see. If we can destroy a row with 3 grains, we can actually get our Stone Giant up. Unfortunately, there doesn't appear to be any column with 3 greens, so we might as well just take the skulls, go for the blue, and now he'll kill us with the Gorgotha. Okay, so right here, hopefully this will not hit the Celastasia. If it does, it will do literally nothing. I'm actually going to take the purples instead. We got the surge, so we'll just be able to full AoE it down. It's going to Gorgotha again, but that's not too big a deal. Especially since it already has all mana, for the most part, on its team. So it's not really gaining any other benefit. We have another stone skin up front here, or I mean our first stone skin up front here, so he won't be able to do that much with anything that he does. We got disease off, we took out the shield, and we got burn on something useful. So a decent move right there. I'm not going to remove the reds right here because I would just give him free skulls. So we will take the skulls even though it's basically no damage. We got a very lucky drop right there for plenty of mana. We'll use this. Hopefully it's Gorgoltha. It doesn't, but at least it hit something. Then again, it can't not hit something. So Stasia wasted on red for some reason.
Mana surge.
Then again, it doesn't really get to choose. It's one of the two at random. I'm pretty sure those reds were there, and I just completely ignored them. He's taking one magic, which is pretty much nothing at all. Very weird how they reworked it to that. Don't really get the reasoning behind that. Okay, so right here, we could try killing Gorgoltha. It'll move him down to 1 HP. I'm not going to do that, though. We're going to hope for a red surge, and we get it. Very nice. So a slightly different plan here. We're going to be casting this as soon as we remove these reds. Casting this, and we should be able to kill this little crawler thing. Oh, no, we won't. They're both short. Since it does double the monsters, we would be able to do 44 damage to it. Unfortunately, that's not enough damage for the kill, so let's just kill out Gorgoltha. It better not do Demonic Pact. Good. And from here, we can pretty much just do anything. It's already a 1 game. Not really anything it can do to win at this point. It's just a matter of actually winning. Take the purples, got a surge on it too. He takes the reds from us. He didn't get surge though. He's still at a 50% mana reduction reduced because the Etten had the Jinx trait, which removes 50% from Hero Mastery. And that triggers at the beginning of the game. So even if you knock it out or stun it or kill it, it's still in effect right now. He still has 50% reduced mana masteries. So it's going to be a lot harder for him to get a mana surge off of 3-time matches than it normally would. So right here, we will take these skulls. That will almost put it in kill range. It actually will kill it if it gets a burn off on it.
Mana surge.
So we'll use this, and let's see. It didn't burn the right one, unfortunately. But it's as good as over. We'll be able to kill this, even though it's only 22. We do double damage against monsters. So down with it. And now any damage at all will kill it. So let's just use the Stone Giant. And that is the match.
Mana surge.
But yeah, that will wrap it up for this video. Leave a like if you enjoyed. If there was anything else you want me to go over with Broken Spire, feel free to drop me a question in the comment section below, and I will get to you on that. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and have a good day. Goodbye, everyone.